Well, hello, and thank you for joining me on another ITY TV video. I'm here at SAP Connect 2025, and I'm with Maura Hameroff. She's the Senior Vice President, Cloud ERP Product Marketing and Chief Marketing Officer for Rise with SAP. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Pleasure to be here with you.
Thank you for taking the time. Now, you were giving a talk yesterday called Why Future Ready ERP Wins, Driving Agility and Comprehensive Value. So let's recap what you were talking about there with SAP Cloud ERP Private.
Yeah. No, it's a very exciting week for us. We actually, as of today, we have the new release of S/4HANA Cloud Private Edition 2025, which is the key solution underpinning customers going through the RISE journey. So in the session yesterday, we focused on both the evolution of RISE with SAP as well as Cloud ERP Private and the product and what we're bringing to market. On the RISE with SAP side of the house, we, as of earlier this year, we disconnected RISE with SAP from an actual product, and we kept in RISE the program support and services that we have to help the customers, no matter where they are. Even if they're not starting with ERP, they're still on-premise, starting to get their clean core, starting to optimize some of the business process. We are now enriching RISE with SAP through the RISE with SAP methodology in the integrated tool chain, as well as incentives and flexible licensing that we attach around that support system for our customers to move from on-premise to cloud and modernizing their assets, not just lift and shift. On the product side, 2025 is an exciting release for us because embedded in the product, we're bringing the power of data and AI. When we talk about data, think through all business processes that the customers run today can benefit from having a lot more integrated data and data intelligence in it. One of the examples that we announced this week is value chain analysis. We're actually combining materials, financials, and carbon all together in one solution, and we're enabling the view across entities, across countries. So what that means is it helps customers to do intercompany transactions, multi-stage intercompany transactions. They can recalibrate the flow of materials. They can take into consideration carbon footprint, and they can make adjustments in real time. That's the power of bringing data in the application. Right? When it comes to AI, we have a broad approach to AI. So first, Joule is officially now the interface for our ERP solutions. So for users, for the agents, the human agents interacting with the product, they can use Joule to access what they need from the product. Again, we're bringing into the business process optimization, AI-driven optimization that can eliminate manual processes, that can bring more agility, and that's built into the actual workflow and applications. We're adding the agentic layer, so then you're kind of moving to the outcome instead of workflow, and we're bringing new agents to market like accounts receivable, dispute management, and maintenance planner. And those are coming to really help and simplify the processes, again, based on the outcomes that customers want out of those transactions versus that step by step. We're also working on the agent-to-agent integration, and we're evolving that too. We already have integration with Copilot, and we're looking beyond it as we bring that framework into the SAP Business Suite to enable that cross-agent collaboration. So this is a very exciting release in the product. And I'd say we're also evolving the integration of S/4HANA Cloud Private Edition and the integration with BDC. And we're bringing over 200 data products that are coming out of S4 and fitting into BDC to get customers' insights ready for action.
I mean, this is, if you think back to ERP solutions of 20 or 30 years ago, before the cloud, before AI, I mean, it must have been a much more labor-intensive and limited experience. I mean, what can't you do with today's technologies?
Well, I think there's a lot. I think if you go back to the history of ERP, right, and even the history of SAP has a history of co-innovation, right?
Yeah.
Each customer has their business processes and their needs, and that continues to be the same. The expertise on how to optimally run a business process and how to drive innovation and differentiation sits with the customers. But what we can do from the technology side of the house that we couldn't do it before is making that a lot faster, dynamic, and agile to keep up with what customers want. And if you think 20, 30 years ago, we would have to sit down, design the process, connect all the systems, etc. Today, the customer can say, "Here's my requirement." Okay, off we go to the built-in process through sensibility and AI. We can make that happen without all of the labor-intensive actions that you have to do in the past.
I mean, everything in the past was siloed and you had to migrate information and connect it. And that's what digital transformation has supposedly been doing, breaking down the silos. But part of what I've heard about in the last couple of days is that all these silos still exist as such, and the AI is now able to reach across through different dual agents that can talk to each other. And I mean, the visibility for an organization into how they plan their enterprise resources is immense because they can see right down the supply chain, 2 or 3 suppliers away from you, and you can have this visibility into, whether there's a typhoon or an earthquake or something. I mean, it's just incredible how much power the companies have now. I mean, we should have the most productive and profitable companies in this next 5 years than we've ever had, at least as SAP customers before, because we just didn't have this. You needed a lot of really skilled people to make that happen. And now technology can deliver that to you as the answer to a prompt.
Yeah, I'd say you still need that intelligence.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
AI is a companion, not a
Yeah.
replacement.
It's not a replacement, which is
That's the beauty, because you're freeing up time for that innovation to happen, right? Like you're enabling the people that know the processes to actually think about the process. And
humans to work on higher level things.
Exactly. But I would say that I wouldn't just say that AI is connecting everything. What we see a lot with customers is that there's a lot of work that the customers are doing to bring their data together, to bring their system together in connectivity. AI is as good as your interconnectivity and your data and your processes, right? So it's a combination of us working with customers, and that's the importance of RISE with SAP, that we're working on the foundation, like data migration, data harmonization, which business process you should prioritize, how do you optimize, how do you remove all of those customizations developed over the 20 to 30 years to a cloud compatible model, that when you update the system, you can take the new capabilities in and continue forward. It's a journey, but yeah. And we see a lot of results, like I wouldn't even say 5 years from now. The customers that are more on that edge, the innovation edge, already can do things that they could have never thought it was possible 6-8 months ago.
Months ago. That's right. Well, the AI is maturing so quickly that things that we couldn't do 6 or 8 months ago are now suddenly if you can dream it, you can do it. And that's exactly what's happening. So, I mean, I guess
But
you
if you
just
do the hard work too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, that's right. There's
Do the foundational work.
Yeah.
To get your systems to modernize your ERP and not just the ERP, right? The connected issue across your business.
The business suite, the supply cloud orchestration. I mean, the entire range of products and services. You can't be using a version of HANA from a decade ago, with somebody else's integrations in it, so they don't pay you a license fees and expect to get the same sort of results that you're delivering today with what you've launched today.
I would say it's less connected to license fees and then more connected to the flow of information, right? And we do integrate a lot with third parties, with a lot of applications, which is both from the business application side of the house, or that's also the beauty with BDC, is to bring data from SAP applications and third party applications.
So I think you may have alluded to this when you talked about how you've had some discussions with the clients, amazed about what they could do now that couldn't do 6 to 8 months ago. So can you share any of the sort of interesting discussions you've had with customers that isn't top secret, that like you didn't expect to have, or they're coming to you amazed about things that they didn't know?
Yeah, I'd say I would put in categories. Like the value chain example that I gave you is one that's been. We've been working in partnership with some customers, and even some customers that have been taking a little longer to move to cloud. They can clearly see multinational corporations. It's their life and blood is the transaction across their different entities and across boundaries. And with the pressures coming in from different suppliers or events that happen globally, that's a type of like groundbreaking type happening to support customers. I'd say financial planning and analysis is another area where we see CFOs now a lot more able to free up working capital, to fuel business, make investments, by having a little bit more of that holistic view of their entire estate. Let me see some more manufacturing too, right? I think car manufacturers is another area, especially the more traditional car manufacturers that are now going to electric and more that software-based ecosystems around the cars. Those are the ones also seeing a tremendous improvement. It goes across industries and across functionalities.
So what's the timeline with all the announcements that have been happening here for the majority of what's been announced to be delivered? Is it by the middle of next year, or are most of the things already available? I think things would obviously be in beta. You'd have customers you're working with, but what's the timeline status?
So the announcements that I mentioned to you now, they are available as of today because that's release of S4HANA Cloud Private Edition 2025. If you look a little bit more holistically across all of the announcements of the event, the time horizon is between November and the end of the year, and then the next batch is the first half of 2026. And I always encourage, and we share this a lot with our customers, to we keep updated our Roadmap Explorer. And the Roadmap Explorer clearly calls out the dates and availabilities of all the different solutions.
Yeah.
We're iterating and quickly evolving at every release that we have in a cloud way. So you do have different time frames for different solutions.
Sure. And part of the reason...
Transparency is important.
Yeah, well, and part of the reason for having Connect 2025 is to share that timeline with your customers and get feedback from them and see if there's things you should prioritize upon, or if there's other things that you haven't thought of. It's like, oh, well, we should work on that too.
And a lot of the outcome from the conversations here is aligning customers to co-innovate with us, right? To be beta testers of our solutions and embark in the journey. Even if the solutions are not available, the solutions that we're announcing, most of them have beta programs available that customers can start engaging today, and then once it becomes generally available, they can take full advantage of.
Yeah. Well, customers are always your best R&D division, and I'm sure that many times they've come to you with things that you didn't even think about, but they're trying to use your product in a way that wasn't anticipated, but it's like, oh, wow, we can do that too.
Yeah, we have a pretty strong customer advisory board structure around all of SAP that we continue to invest in and expand. So our customers are a source of co-innovation and feedback and software.
Well, without them, there's no business. So what else should we know in brief, based on everything you've told us so far, knowing that we haven't got much time left to talk?
Yeah, I'd say we're bringing in, again, the whole point of Connect, right? We're bringing the different areas of the company together to understand how connected systems can really help the entire business, right? So I'd say that's one of the key takeaways, is how SAP can be a partner of innovation for corporations across the board, right? Whether it's starting from the technology side and the platform, et cetera, that the IT is looking at, all the way cutting across customer success, HR, operations, procurement, et cetera. That's the power of a full suite of solutions. Yeah. And that's the power of a company that looks at the customers holistically.
Yeah. So not just one little area, and then you've got a best of breed which doesn't talk to each other properly. And I mean, we're at this level of sophistication where a company can actually offer all their products by itself. It's I don't think you could have claimed that 10 years ago or 20 years ago. So I always like to ask, can you please share a memory of your first personal computer?
Well, so I'm originally from Brazil, and personal computers, given that commerce was not open during dictatorship and things like that, my first personal computing memory was actually when I was in college. It was a terminal a
green screen terminal. Yes. A dumb terminal, as they call it, connected to a mainframe somewhere. Yeah.
PCs came right after that. We enter into democracy and the market started to open. You could actually import, but that's my first memory is a terminal.
It's still just as valid because it was still access to computing power. And can you please share some of the best advice you've ever received in life to help you get where you are today in democracy-loving free America?
Be curious.
Yeah.
Always be curious. Always care about everything that you are doing. You'll just learn so much from every interaction that just makes you better.
Yeah. So I know you gave us a bit of a final message before, but what's your final message to the viewers and the readers?
Embrace what the technology can do for you today. Be curious.
Yep.
to understand what you can do and how you can do things differently today than you could have in the past. And that's how you're going to get the best results.
Well, Maura Hameroff, thank you so much for your time, and I wish you the best for the rest of SAP Connect 2025.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.